Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan, what is hyperconscious?
Once you understand why something is the way that it is, now you have the power to change it. Great conversations with great people and great questions are the keys to the kingdom of unlocking your consciousness.
Every single action that you do starts as a thought. When you control the way you think, you will control the way you act, and you will control the way you live. That is hyperconscious. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hyperconscious Podcast is proudly sponsored by our friend and mentor, David Meltzer of the Playbook Podcast. He was kind enough to join us on episode 144 and 135.
Folks, it has become Kevin and I's mission in life to help you realize that the life of your dreams is right on the other side of you becoming the greatest version of yourself. Let us help you do that.
I rarely do these things twice in such a short amount of time, but you guys impress me. I believe in people that provide value and of our service. You two guys are on your way to huge fulfillment, purpose, and profitability, and I look forward to helping you both.
We appreciate that more than you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. Alan and I did a 5-minute clinic on removing the mask and why it is unbelievably important to be honest with yourself about your faults, your insecurities, all of those things.
Very important.
Today, for episode number 244, we're going to do a small talks episode on goal setting.
This is one of my favorite topics of all time. For some reason, we did not learn this in school, at least I did not, but I already have the definition up. But before we jump into that, I want you to go to the hyperconsciouspodcast.com, click on join #HyperconsciousNation. Folks, one common denominator of everyone in that group is they have clear, concise goals. Go there, you'll feel supported. That's what we are all about. We all want to achieve our goals to become better human beings.
And speaking of being better human beings, Alan and I have a speech. So if you're listening to this, that means we had a speech.
True.
Yesterday.
Hopefully it went well.
Hopefully it went well. But if you are looking to bring in speakers to not only inspire and motivate for the day, but to create a sustainable, lifelong change, we would love to come speak to whoever it is. We are unbelievably passionate about that, and that is one of our goals that we are setting. See what I did there?
Strong word.
Wow.
Goal setting. All right, so I looked up goals instead of goal setting.
Okay.
Dictionary.com pronounces. Wow.
Here we go. This is going to be a great one.
Defines goal as the result or achievement toward which effort is directed, aimed at a certain end. Here's the thing. It's the goal that brings value to the game. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, okay, life's not a game. I don't like that analogy. Wait. So imagine basketball.
Wow, you literally just read my mind, except not basketball, because that's for the birds.
For the birds?
Yeah.
Dunk on them.
Go on.
Dunk on them. Imagine playing the game of basketball without a goal. You know, if the game isn't defined and you don't have an objective, then the sport wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun to watch. It wouldn't be fun to play. And
should have used soccer.
Should have used soccer?
Yeah.
Because it's more world-renowned.
No, I was going to say, because imagine you're just kicking a ball around, just all for 60 minutes, just kicking it like wherever it goes.
Right.
And then at the end of the game, you're like, well, that was fun.
That was fun, exactly.
Versus having somewhere where you're actually kicking it. And then, okay, so you now have a goal. You have to reverse engineer plays in order to get closer to the goal so you can score.
And you have to be more athletic. You have to work as a team. It
Goal
brings
setting
value to everything.
is really everything.
So I had questions for Kevin.
My name is him.
What do goals mean to you? Why are they so important?
Interesting.
And what do you hope the listeners take away from this episode?
A goal to me is a specific intention that will give you pleasure upon succeeding at.
Strong work.
What was the second question? These 3-part questions really get me, man.
Why are they so important?
They are important because if you don't have goals, you may not be I won't say you're not striving for anything, but you're not striving for anything greater than you currently are. And sometimes you'll set goals that are so far out of your current capabilities that you'll have to become another human in order to get them. So it basically, it's forced growth. It's the desire to achieve something which forces growth.
What's a good example of that?
Oh,
in your
man.
life, personally.
Relationships.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I thought of that immediately. when
Yeah,
you
that's
said
the
that.
one I'm always going to. I put a post up the other day of Taryn and I that was taken by Odette in Florida when we were down
yes.
at Your World Within Live, and then the next day we went to Evan Carmichael's meetup. And I basically the point of the post was, if you want to have an amazing relationship, be capable of attracting an incredible mate into your life. And that was a goal of mine. A goal of mine was to have an amazing girlfriend and an amazing relationship where the communication was awesome and the deep talks were awesome. I could definitely do a better job of that. I've been slacking at that. Taryn, if you're listening, I will change that. So that was a goal. And when you have the goal, like say you want to, let me think of a good goal. One of your goals is to save money. Now, if it's basically like an intention. Now you have set that goal. Now you have to reverse engineer what are the things that I'm wasting money on. I shouldn't get coffee every day. I could do better with that. I should stop ordering out so much. I could do better with that. Do I need to buy a smart water, which costs $7, or can I just fill my water up at home? You're going to notice things that you never would have noticed before because they are
relevant
to the goal, and they're going to help you get there.
So before this episode, I went back to a speech that I gave at WPI a long time ago. The video is brutal, and the audio quality is terrible, and Cope kept shaking the camera, which I'm still salty about. No, I'm kidding. So it's called Success on Your Terms, and I went through why set a goal, which I think is really valuable here. And what I want to do that I think is super valuable for the listeners, I'm going to go through these reasons, and then I kind of want you to dissect each one with that goal you set prior to you and Taryn's incredible relationship, because I think that will bring super, super valuable.
I'm with it.
That will be super valuable. Okay, number one.
Kid can't even talk.
I know, right? Why set a goal? Number one, for the journey it will force you to embark upon to achieve it. I remember you saying that you are doing things that you normally would never have done had you not wanted a wonderful relationship. And Taryn has helped you live life to a greater extent. Can you go into that a little?
So a couple of things. I think I don't think I ever really had a bad ego, but I would argue in relationships of like it's my way or the highway kind of deal, because I didn't think they would take the highway, and I also didn't understand the harm I was doing to the relationship. So my communication and my vulnerability, I've been praised a lot for being vulnerable and transparent, but it's easier on this podcast to do it than it is with somebody that you truly, truly love, because, again, you guys aren't here right now. You're not sitting in front of us. I know you're listening. I know you're there, and I feel you, and I'm connected to you, but it's just harder when you can see a tear roll down somebody's cheek because of something you said. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's harder when I'm holding back tears to be honest and vulnerable, and maybe you're embarrassed. Maybe you're ashamed of what you're feeling. So it's forced me to become a greater man.
Right.
In every way. In communication, leading by example, being less judgmental,
Right.
being supportive, just being a greater man.
Fire. Number two was who you must meet to achieve it. So, like, the persons, places, things, and ideas that you must embody and the fears you must chase. So I guess where does that fit? So who you must meet? Who's someone you wouldn't have met if it wasn't for Taryn?
Interesting.
I mean, one good example is the dinner. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I was going to say skip the small talk, that event that...
Perfect.
Yeah, she
Perfect.
hit me up and said, hey, I have this idea. Would you want to do it? We're going to go into this place. It's a brewery, and they have this event called Skip the Small Talk, where you are in a room with a bunch of strangers, you pull a card, and you talk about some deep stuff with somebody you've never met before. And my natural inclination is like, that is unbelievably uncomfortable for me. Luckily, she pushed me to do it because I felt amazing in that room. I thrived in that room.
Right.
If it wasn't for her, I never would have done that. And that's also extra Y power.
And then you might not have had the level of confidence you have to
Right.
then chase speeches and all these
Right.
things. I remember that was a real thing for you.
That was a giant thing for me.
because Kevin realized that when he is in a room without me, he's more confident.
Yes, go figure.
Go
Believe it or
figure.
not.
Oh, I love it. Okay, number three. It makes today accountable by creating pressure. Now, all of a sudden, every day matters. Real quick context. Let's say you were going to do a marathon three months from now. All of a sudden, you better train. You can't just sleep in and let it go. It makes today valuable and accountable. How has your relationship made you more accountable?
It's interesting. I think a relationship is very similar to a game from the fact of your last performance matters almost more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
You can be the best, and it should. It
Right.
should, honestly. You shouldn't get praise for what you did 6 months ago if you're not doing that now.
Used to bees, should bees, and could bees don't produce no honey.
So I think the relationship, and I always like to use that example because I think that's what people value and what people are afraid of not having almost more than anything. Maybe wealth and security is right up there, but
Oh, yeah.
you see that reflection every single day. And if you're not accountable, you're going to know about it almost quicker than anything else. Like you could take off, say you took off in a plane and the wheels broke. Like you took off and then they broke. You wouldn't know the wheels were broken until you landed again. Could be 8 hours later.
Right.
If you screw up in a relationship, you're going to see that immediately.
Yeah, very quickly.
You're also going to get a chance to repair it immediately too, which is great.
And then you can adapt quicker and therefore get to your destination faster.
But only if you take accountability for that, if you take
Yeah.
responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
Extreme
How you handle
ownership.
it is extreme ownership, some would say. There's an episode we just did on that.
Yes, on regular. We didn't say extreme ownership because that's Jocko's book.
Do you know which episode that was?
Yeah. One of them.
One of them. Perfect. I think it was last week. Number 4, what it will make of you to achieve it. So what is a part of you that you've come to embody that wouldn't have been the case if you didn't want an extraordinary relationship?
I think my patience has gotten a lot better. But also, it's funny, man, because we were talking a little bit about this. Happy wife, happy life is something that you hear in movies and stuff. And that's something I used to hate. I used to hate hearing that because to me it signified, I'm gonna get deep here a little bit. It signified a weak man a little bit. Like, oh, you just do everything that she wants. But then when I found out, like, I'm not doing everything that she wants because she wants to. I'm doing everything that she wants because I want to make her happy.
Yeah.
Like, I want her to be the happiest person she can be. And, like,
Right.
if that means we're going peach picking, I'll find a way to have a great time. I'm with you. I'll find a way to have a great time. You know, she asked me if we could buy matching Christmas pajamas. Hell yeah. Order them up. I'm a size medium.
Yeah, medium.
But I know what was the question again? I'm going off the
Dude, you're
rails
good.
here.
There's nothing wrong with it. I love it. All right. What will it make of you to achieve it? So what's something that wanting a magnificent relationship with Taryn has forced to make of you?
Caring far less about what other people think. Like,
Right.
easily. Because I am in love and I care more about what she thinks than a room full of people or what people might say about, like, oh, that's like nice pajamas, bro. Thank you. My girlfriend got them for me. They are nice.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just
What
it's
a badass.
It's made me realize, and like, come say it to me. Whatever. Come say it to me. But it's just made me realize that when you value somebody that much, you understand that doing the stuff that you might not normally do is actually an amazing thing and not a bad thing. It doesn't make you less of a man. Again, I think it makes you more of a man. Tara and I were talking. She said we should do an episode on what is a real man.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, so
I
we'll
have a
have to-
flashcard in my pocket
My
right now that
goodness.
says, I told you about that. Darren basically interviewed women
Yes.
that are in their 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, all the way down. And I have a flashcard. I wrote notes about the common denominators amongst all generations of women of what they really want in a man.
We should do that.
I would love that.
We'll
That
have
would
to
be
figure
fire.
out when, because we keep telling you we're going to do an episode and we don't do it. We just do something else.
We're sorry.
Things have been crazy
Okay.
lately.
Number 5. Again, this is why I set a goal. Because of what you must contribute to achieve it. So what's something that you have been forced to contribute because of you wanting a magnificent relationship?
What have I been forced to
Contribution feels good. Helping others feels good. I got to help Taryn recently.
Yes.
That was really good.
Yes, you did.
Mm.
I don't know, because I think I'm a natural contributor.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I don't.
Maybe that was something you were already doing a lot of.
Maybe. Whatever's necessary.
Well, what have you had to help her with? Because you have to get good at something in order to be able to help someone. So maybe that's an extra Y power to get better at something for her. Like the other night, we talked about how we wanted to help her with. As a matter of fact, she texted us this morning. We want to help her with career.
Yeah, I think you're better at that than I am.
Well, we'll do it. We'll do it together.
You give me the answers and then I'll
I don't
type
know,
them out.
man. You're killing it.
Well, yeah,
with-
some would say.
With the podcast coaching,
Some would say.
unapologetic plug.
Some would say. I think for me, I was already contributing a lot just as in my personal life and just me as a career, right? That's kind of what we do every single day. So I think I just had to transition that to her specifically.
I just had a hyperconscious moment.
Okay.
you said that you want to help open a place that she can. That's literally.
Well, it
that's
hasn't
exactly
happened. It hasn't happened yet. And I haven't
But
started doing it yet. Right now,
you
it's
wouldn't
an
even have the
intention.
intention without her, though.
Right now, it's an intention.
Right.
Yeah, I want to help. I didn't realize that when it comes to developmental disabilities and anything like handicap-wise, that the public school systems really aren't capable of giving those individuals the necessary, not attention, but they're just not capable necessarily of giving them what they need.
Right.
And I said, what would have to happen in order to make that happen? Like, I want to do that. I'm sure it's a whole thing, and it's a lot more work than I think, but...
When, I'd say if, but I'll say if because it's you. If that happens, you will contribute at a far greater level than you ever would have if you didn't want a magnificent relationship.
Yes.
Goal setting is everything.
It's everything. It is everything.
I just want to jump in real quick. We're running out of time here, but
Naturally.
you could have the best captain in the world and the best ship in the world. Arnold Schwarzenegger says this. But if you don't know where you're going, you don't have a goal, you don't have a vision, then the captain's just going to drift around. And the tides and the storms are going to take you where they want you to go. So you need to have sort of a true north, they would say.
Some would say
Some would say true north. Okay, number 6, the skills you must develop to achieve it. What skills have you had to develop to have a magnificent relationship?
Communication, active listening, being vulnerable, not taking offense to things.
Right.
You have to... I want to give a safe space where she can communicate her feelings and not get ego hurt and say like, "Oh, I have to have a rebuttal here." Like, no, it's I want to listen, not to respond. I want to listen so she'll feel understood. So I've had to learn a lot about communication.
That's helped us too,
for sure.
Yeah,
and I just want to make this clear that if you guys remember listening, I don't know, was it a year ago? You'll remember when I had a situationship where I could have been any version of myself I wanted to be, and I got rid of that. I didn't want to be part of that. This is what I want. This is what I asked for. I asked for an extraordinary relationship, just like we asked for extraordinary lives.
Yeah.
That means I'm willing to put in the necessary effort. I'm willing to grow and evolve in accordance to that. And this is exactly what this is. I want the best relationship ever of all time. I'm willing to do what that takes.
On the speaker reel, you said you're not a quitter. You just haven't found something worth not quitting for yet.
For sure.
And you said you need to find someone or something you're gonna want to go through pain, failure. You're gonna want to face your demons. Like get rid of. Yeah. That's kind of the thing. If you're out there and you're not in a relationship that you love enough to where, I had this quote: "If you do not love your partner enough to want to be the best partner possible, you need to get out of that because it's the why power that's gonna make you valuable." All right, we have to go, but. There's 2 more quick ones?
Quick ones. I'll hammer them quickly.
Number 7 is to get the result, the trophy. So the actual result. That's
not a question.
That's not a question.
Yeah. That's good, though.
And then the 8th one, this is actually something that I came up with afterwards. I didn't actually say this in my speech. Perceived progress makes humans feel good. The trophy doesn't matter. It's what the trophy means to me. So, interesting. I remember when we went to California, you asked me to pack your picture of you and Taryn that was in the office, in the studio, if you want to call it that. And
watch your mouth.
And it's like you having the relationship is having the quote unquote result you wanted.
Yes.
But it's what the result means to you. And then all of the
there is no trophy. It's always going to be a work in progress, but the trophy is the moments where you say, like, wow, I'm really happy we're doing this. Wow, I can't wait to live with you. Wow, I can't wait to see what the future holds. Wow, it's amazing we get to share this. Wow, you inspire. Like, the trophies are just along the way. I don't think there's ever, like, an actual trophy.
Right.
But it's the victories. There's a bunch of victories.
I know.
I don't. If I get a trophy, that means it's over. I don't want the game to be over. I want it to keep going.
So the goal that Kevin set was to have a magnificent relationship. And we just took you through all of the reasons why that's a wonderful thing.
Right. And this
even though it's challenging.
Oh, for sure. It's applicable to any... If your goal is to lose weight, those questions would work the same way.
Right.
And that is... You will go farther if you set a goal beyond your current capabilities, because if you're not, then you're probably not working for anything greater than yourself. You're working for what's easy.
Right.
If you want what's easy, it's not going to be great, most likely. If you want something great, it's going to be difficult, but it's worth it in the long run, for sure.
10-second blip.
Just imagine watching soccer. man. And there's no goals, and these people are just firing soccer balls around the field into the crowd, and at the end it's always 0-0, and then everybody leaves, and then they just do it again the next day.
Oh, you just gave me mine. It is the goal that brings value to the game. Here's the thing. It really isn't about achieving the goal. It's about who you must become in order to achieve it and what you must contribute.
That was 15 seconds.
Sorry, brother.
You jeffed it again.
I had to one up.
We always talk about relationships because that's unbelievably important to me, but whatever it is for you, whatever your goal is, opening a business, getting in shape, getting your master's degree, being an author, starting a podcast, whatever it is, break them down into actionable steps that you can succeed at. I just talk about relationships because I think this relationship has forced me to level up as a man more than anything else, and I'm loving doing it, and I love continuously doing it.
I agree with that. I think since I've met you, it has forced you to level up more than anything else.
I appreciate that. I think next to, you know how people say like behind every successful man is a woman? Next to.
Absolutely.
Hand in hand with every successful man is a wonderful woman who supports him.
Let's change that.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Up next, we are going to do a Scratching the Surface episode on your circle determining your success. I actually had a slide on this for the speech we gave at Mass Maritime Academy.
I was at a mentor meeting with one of my mentors last night for 4.5 hours, and it is unbelievable the circles he plays in and what you can learn up there. And up there is proverbially.
Okay.
I'm butchering it. Cannot wait for that. I have a dramatic reading from my favorite book ever of all time, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed. We will talk to you on Friday.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.